Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are for a podcast. It's a bit later than planned. I'm sorry about that. We had a few other bits and pieces we had to complete this evening. One of them wasn't doing my hair, as you can see. But yeah, we had a few other bits and pieces to get done. This one, we are going to be talking about the news that did surface earlier this morning. It's that man in the headlines again for all the wrong reasons. Sasha Zverev, he has received finally his punishment, it would seem, for his quite disgusting actions at Acapulco, where he decided to just smash a chair with making the umpire raise his foot and then swearing at him. But don't worry, he's just going to get a fine, and it's an 8-week ban, but it's suspended because he's on probation for a year, so that's all right, so he can play Indian Wells. So it's good to know that there's a real hard line punishment for this, isn't it, JG?
Sorry, before we get on to Zverev, I've got an image in my head, and it's that you're not wearing a t-shirt and you just got a grey cardigan.
Yeah,
so
I know. I was thinking that.
Can you clarify? And I've been making myself laugh even more as the podcast is going on, because I'm envisioning you sitting on your chair naked with just like a little cardigan sitting around you.
There is.
But it is a skin coloured t-shirt. Do you want to just give it a little pinch to confirm?
It's pink. It's pink.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, apologies for that. Does it look a little bit? It does look quite skin colour, though.
It was just, that's all I had in my mind the whole time. So. But yeah, on Zverev. On to Zverev. Listen, suspended. What have they called it? A suspended sentence?
Yeah, it's like it's a suspension for. It's an 8-week ban, but it's a probationary ban.
It's a suspended suspension.
Yeah, they've suspended his suspension. So if he does anything wrong, though, in the next year, then he'll get a ban. So it's a slap on the wrist, really. And then he gets I think, how much fine does he get? Well, a couple of minutes play on court.
Nothing which is going to affect him. If you look at what he made in the US Open going out first round. Oh, no, Australian Open, was it?
Yeah, I mean,
I forget. I know Gil did a tweet. We'll get on that one in a minute. But he's made basically more from a first round exit than what he would do in the fine. So pretty mad. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Apologies, we're late. We've got Jean in saying nice hair, Ben. Lexi's in saying about time, Ben and JG. And before we forget, I just want to give a shout out to a donor who sent us a tip off stream earlier on today. That's Fatima. Shout out to you, Fatima.
Cheers,
really
Fatima.
Appreciate it. Hopefully it's not too late and you're not watching us, but if you're watching on repeat, this is for you. Your shout out, Fatima, because you deserve it. You've been a loyal member of GTL these last few months, and we do appreciate you, and we appreciate all of the tips and donations off stream.
Yeah, we really do. It really does help. We will hopefully be able to upgrade the sound of the podcast very soon, thanks to your kind donations as well. We will have a couple of new mics, hopefully, and it'll be nice and crisp, and we'll sound exactly the same soon. And I'll be
Ben. Well, maybe Ben can buy a t-shirt. You never know.
No, I'm not. Never. No, I'm not doing it.
Fatima's allowed Ben to buy a t-shirt. But we've got Jose here weighing in on the situation. He's saying Alex Zverev will be allowed to keep competing on the ATP Tour. The world number 3 is now on probation for a year and will be fined and suspended for 2 months if a similar behaviour happens. So when they say similar behaviour, does he have to go to that same extent of sort of striking an umpire? He didn't actually make contact with him, to clarify, but he was very violent in the way he did it.
Very.
And if I'm honest, in my time, obviously I'm a bit younger than you, I cannot recall an incident like that. I think it's one of the worst incidents I've seen. And I feel he has been let off very lightly with this, considering he's not really been suspended, it seems. So if he's just going to be on his best behaviour now for a bit, it's all going to be forgotten.
I think this is disgusting. I mean, I was disgusted with the action of Zverev at the time, and now I'm disgusted again because We were all making assumptions. Oh, how long is it going to be? It's going to be at least surely like a month, 2 months. We were like, maybe 6 months. He'll be banned from the whole tour.
Well, we was wondering if he's going to be able to play any more slams this year. Will he just be competing in the US Open? He's going to be playing in Indian Wells, just around the corner. So it's bemusing, to say the least. Who made this decision? That's what I want to get onto. Maybe if we read the statement, it'll make a bit more sense. So having a look at this.
Sorry,
So we've got Ponte Verde Beach, Florida. The ATP Senior Vice President of Rules and Competition, Miro Bratoev, has completed his review of Alex Zverev's conduct in Acapulco. So this is the ATP Senior Vice President of Rules and Competition. Seems like a bit of a ridiculous title, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And he's not done a great job, if I'm honest, with this.
No.
He's saying the review determined that Zverev committed aggravated behaviour under the player major offences section of the ATP rules. So he's committed an offence under the major offences section.
Yeah.
So it's not on the minor offences, it's on the major offences, but yet there's no punishment apart from a small fine.
Isn't it strange as well? Yeah, I just don't understand how there isn't any sort of ban of any. Like, how does he not miss any tennis? That's what I don't understand about this ban. Like, how is that not deemed? Like, what does somebody have to do? That's what I'll post to you. Tell us in the live chat. What does somebody have to do to get an actual ban? Then, if you can go around smashing the umpire's chair after every match, then surely everyone wants to have a go at doing that now, because you don't get banned off the tour. You just get a probationary one. And just get a small fine for Zverev. So maybe everybody will start doing that now, because if they'll have to follow suit. What constitutes getting an actual ban? Do you have to hit the umpire?
Yeah, you got to ask. You've got to remember, this is Zverev, someone with a lot of money who's pretty high up in the world. What's he, number 3 now at the moment?
Number 3.
If this was someone on the challengers, would it be the same treatment? Maybe they would be punished a lot more.
Or even if it was somebody
so
lower,
like that in as well.
100 in the world or something, even if it was somebody lower ranked in the ATP events, potentially.
But this is just speculation. We don't know. That's just an opinion. So we've got, as a result, Zverev has been issued an additional fine of $25,000, a suspension for a period of 8 weeks on any ATP sanctioned event. However, the fine and suspension are withheld on the condition that over a probation period ending the 22nd of February 2023, so that's going to include next year's Australian Open as well, something to take into consideration. The player does not incur a further code violation that results in a fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. Just move down. Verbal or physical abuse of an official. So what I want to talk about this with verbal abuse, because that could be quite difficult for him. I think we know Zverev. We watched him for many years now. If the ball's a bit close to a line, he's always going to be complaining about it. He complains every single match, even if there's Hawkeye, if they've got any other technology. What's the other one called? Bounce.
Real bounce.
Real bounce.
Yeah.
He always complains about any line calls. So we're going to be seeing more of that for sure. Is he going to call the umpire a twat or swear at him or say something? It could happen. So if that, how lenient are they going to be? Is it any kind of abuse towards an umpire and he's going to be banned now?
Well, if it's
very minimal.
If they're going to stick to it, it has to be something like that. I think if you want somebody to really change their ways, and I want to know, does this include like smashing up numerous rackets, or where do you like draw the line? Because it's saying here like towards an official, an opponent, a spectator. How close does he have to get towards another person on the court while he's smashing his racket for it to be construed as he's putting them in danger? So I don't know. I feel like they're making up the sort of the rules as they go along, and just.
Well, has this ever happened to anyone else before? That's what I want to find out. Does anyone know in the live chat? Have we ever seen a suspended sentence before, or suspended suspension? I should say, is what it is. Because I'm not familiar with one. And definitely not on these terms. And for definitely not something as extreme as what Zverev did. Yeah. So we've got Zverev already received a total of $40,000 fine on site. And he also forfeited his full prize money, which is $31,000 in singles and doubles. as well as all the ATP ranking points from the event. Let's move on to the next tweet.
Sure. This is Gil.
So this is Gil, friend of the podcast, bit of a legend. Go subscribe to him if you've not seen any of his content. He's saying Alex Zverev fined 65,000 in total for what he did in Acapulco. In 2021, this is what I was talking about at the start. The payout for losing the first round of the US Open was 75,000. So he's, in essence, he's not really done anything. This is it.
I just don't. This is almost like when you get football players and they get their fines as well, and you just think, oh, we've slapped him. Don't worry, we've given him a 20 grand fine. You're like, he earns 200 grand a week. What's 20 grand to somebody who earns 200 grand? At least, I fined him a week's wages. Oh no, how will he get by with 200? He's lost 200 grand. He gets paid $1 million a month. It's just these type of things that it has to be something that will impact him to stop him wanting to do it again. That doesn't. There's no sort of. There's nothing in that sort of amount that would suggest he's ever gonna think, oh well, if I can get away with that once this year's up, I can do that again.
Shout out to Vanch. Appreciate the super chat. We have officially opened the new top tippers as well. It's going to be called the Sunshine Double. So the previous winner, I believe, was Kathy, who's in the live chat. So shout out to you, Kathy. We'll maybe show that at the end of this podcast. I did update the spreadsheet, but Vanch now is leading the way. It's reset from this podcast onwards for the next however long, I think another month or so.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the new winner. But right now, Vanch leading the way with the super chat. Appreciate that.
He said my issue leading the way.
Oh, Fatima, I guess. But I'm not sure if we're starting it from. It depends where the crossover is. We'll have to establish that afterwards. I was going to start it from this podcast, but
okay.
We'll have to see. My issue with this decision is he can be suspended in the future for just verbally abusing the umpire, which lots of players do. I like drama, and this sets a bad precedent. Should have suspended him for this action.
Yeah, I agree.
What, completely with all of that?
I agree. I don't think that everybody should verbally abuse the umpires, but I think that they should have suspended him so that this doesn't hang over him, so to speak, in future tournaments. Now it does really affect how people would normally act on the court, and no one really had a problem if he was just moaning a bit and just complaining to the umpire. Now if he complains, everyone's going to be calling for him to be suspended from the tour. And if he just got suspended properly, which he should be, in my eyes, for doing something which is very, very, one of the worst things I've seen on a tennis court, to be honest. It was very dangerous what he did. I think just it needs a stiff punishment. Kick him off the tour for, I don't know how long. They need to make the decision. Could be 3 months. I thought 3 months was what we were going to get maybe for him. And I thought that was going to be the minimum. We haven't had anything. So I don't know how you feel about it, though.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading it. We've got Ken Lee in with another super chat saying,
cheers,
praying
Ken.
Rafa leaves Indian Wells as healthy as he arrived. The tip is for Ben to maintain that youngster haircut. So it's a very positive comment there from Ken. He seems to. Ben's growing on him a little bit.
I think he was just try and get me a new T-shirt. I think.
Appreciate that, Ken. But on what you're saying, Vanch, here. Sorry, future for. I like drama. My mind's completely gone because I was reading that as he was talking about this. So I can't really speak too much on that, but I agree with what he's saying. I think he should have been suspended from the start. Shouldn't have left it to keep going on, because ultimately, I think what's going to happen. My prediction is this: there's going to be some kind of grey area where he says something, and there's going to be most people on Twitter and across the world, tennis fans, saying he needs to be banned now. But I don't think he's going to be banned, because they're going to find a way to, it's like a little loophole. It's too grey. It's going to be, that wasn't warranted as bad enough.
Well, I think there
definitely is going to be some kind of incident from now until sort of Australian Open next year where Zverev steps out of line slightly, which wouldn't usually warrant any issue, but it will do in this situation. And for that reason, I understand what Vanch is saying. It's going to create a bit of a mess. And that's what we want to see in tennis.
We'll probably be somewhere around that time, somewhere around the US Open. But what I want to see happen is there should be something set in stone, because I know that they showed those sort of airy-fairy, one-size-fits-all type thing in your rules. I don't think one size does fit all in this sort of case. Everything, there should be another grade. Like, this is quite a serious sort of thing that he's done on court, like quite a serious attack on an umpire. I think that needs to have its own level of punishment. Each one, they don't need to be all grouped into the same thing. You can add another tier on there and say, this is an instant ban. Like, you're banned for this set amount of time if you do an action like that.
Yeah, I understand. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, this one, Ben Rothenberger, tweeting about Serena Williams as she was asked on CNN about Zverev attacking the umpire, saying, there is absolutely a double standard. I would probably be in jail if I did that. Like, literally, no joke. Still no word from the ATP on their review of the incident. I think that was before, obviously. Yeah. And now, obviously, we know what has happened. We'd like to hear what she has to say now as well.
I agree with her to an extent. I do think it would be different for other people. I thought Zverev has got off very lightly here. Let's move on. Let's get through a few of these, Ben.
Yeah. Right.
So money does not do it. Give someone with that behaviour 3 or 6 months suspension. This is Mats Wilander speaking. He's been very vocal. I think we've got a few tweets from him, or quotes from him, just talking about the incident. And all of them are very much condoning exactly what we've been saying, of the fact that he just needs to be banned for a lot further than what's happened.
Yeah, no grey areas. I think this causes more. We've spent the whole last few months talking about grey areas with this whole thing. Like, oh, is it a medical exemption? Is it all of this? Let's have some stuff set in place. We need to know what's going on every time. So anyway, move on to the next one. This was just another one, or a reply to a Yannick Schneider's one, saying, insane that a statement can read Zverev committed aggravated behavior under the major player offences section, and also say the fine and suspension are withheld in the same breath.
That's like exactly what I said. I hadn't seen this tweet either before I said that, but exactly what the sort of wavelength I'm on. How can it be a major offence, but yet there's no major punishment?
But this is why it doesn't make sense. There should just be in
the rules aren't. I bet these rules have just sort of been made, like, sort of pushed together the last few hours.
Well, I don't get that. There should be, like, next to each one. I would like to see it. Strike umpire equals 6 months ban, or 1 year ban, or strikes ball kid accidentally 1 month ban, or something. There needs to be something set in there so that they know every single situation there's something they can call upon, not just, oh, well, it's sort of up to us. But then they probably like it this way. Like John said on the other one.
There's never going to be anything concrete because they want to have.
Oh, yeah, they want to have.
They want to put their fingers in it to do whatever they want to do.
Like, same with the medical exemption stuff as well. They like a grey area.
Yeah, we've got Gene in. Shout out to Gene for the super chat. Hopefully you're enjoying university and having a good time.
Yeah, mate.
Make sure you're working as well. Not too much tennis. He said, this is such a lightweight punishment. Just imagine the reception he is going to get at Indian Wells. The crowd will definitely get vocal. This makes me so disappointed as a regular viewer of the sport. We've seen that. I don't know if you've seen the stuff in Davis Cup. Was that in Brazil?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it's in Brazil. He was getting heckled quite a bit from the crowd.
Family, his girlfriend, everyone. Yeah. So,
and he couldn't really handle it. He came out in the interview and was speaking about the incidents, of course. That must be very hard for him. I don't ever really... I can't stand with anyone who's bringing family into it.
No.
I think that is a bit insensitive to be doing such a thing. But he sort of brought this on himself to a level. And as much as I don't condone what people have been saying, sort of the fans, I can understand why they're doing it.
But you've got to think as well, in this type of situation, maybe that can be his motivation not to do it again. If you're not going to do it for yourself, and you're not going to do it for the umpires, and you're not going to do it for the other players, how about all of the people who are related to you, all the people who associate with you, who want to come and support you, who are going to get abuse if you keep doing things like that? So maybe think about them, because it's no walk in the park for anybody else. Like, they could be potentially harmed by other people just to go and watch you play tennis. That's horrible.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, this one I quite liked. I thought it was funny. John Wertheim saying, I was going to go to the Miami Open, but then I saw Zverev wasn't in the draw. Said no one at no time. I don't get the tournament perspective here. The same advice to Tylee. Trust your product. You run a great event. Pandering to stars is not only unnecessary, but backfires. Totally agree with this. Like this tweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trust your product, because at the end of the day, we had all of that stuff going back and forth for the Australian Open. Tournament was incredible anyway. We didn't need all of this like back and forth before the tournament. And the same with this. We got all back and forth about him before Indian Wells or Miami. I don't think it matters, because it's still going to be like players who turn up and play well, and it's going to be exciting anyway. Promote the players who are there. Don't just try and fish in Zverev just because you need him in there because he's number 3. Because ultimately, all you're doing is devaluing the other players who are in the tournament.
Yeah, it's a good point. I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, right. On to the next one. Yeah, this one.
So in 2016, Kyrgios got suspended. The ATP practically urged him to see a sports psychologist. Why not the same for Zverev?
Good question. Yeah. I mean, do you think that they will advise the same thing?
We don't know. They haven't. Just because they've not. You can't really go off a statement. There may be some kind of agreement they've got in place with Zverev behind sort of closed doors, not in the public domain, that he is going to seek some help. They're going to provide some sort of psychology for him to deal with the anger, because he clearly has he can flick a switch in his mind where 1 minute he's calm, the next minute completely loses his cool, and he doesn't have any control over sort of that red rush, like a red rush of rage. And I think the only way you can really improve that situation is through self-reflection, and maybe a sports psychologist is going to be someone who can sort of tap into that and help him. So I recommend this would be a good thing for him to take up. It's not been made aware to us, the public, that it's sort of been offered to him, but we don't know for a fact that it's not been.
No. This one, I was just quickly, while you were talking, I was just trying to have a look back through some old tweets. I just came across this one from Jose Morgado, and this was back in 2019. It says Kyrgios in a 6 months probationary period to avoid a 4 months ban, and this was till the end of February. It has to avoid violations, verbal, physical abuse. And then there you can see have support of a mental coach there. So that was part of his conditions of that probationary period as well. So I'm hoping they're going to maybe enforce the same thing for Sasha Zverev.
Yeah. We've got Jim in the live chat sort of making digs about the giveaway and different things that was happening regarding that. He's asking, did we at least compensate the winner? Yes, we have sorted that out completely. We are compensating the winner. We're providing a prize, and that's all agreed and arranged for. So, for a start, Jim, I wouldn't say too much what you don't know about. It's not a good look.
Yeah,
we've done our best with that, and it's been a bit of a tricky situation we've had to go through.
Yeah, it definitely has. But yeah, we've apologized profusely to the winner of the giveaway, and they have been compensated. We're sending them a lot of things. So, unfortunately, just not the tickets, which is the one thing we're very disappointed about. But anyway, move away from that. Right, this next one was from Emma, and it's saying, and this is the organization we are supposed to entrust with an impartial investigation or Ari Zverev's domestic abuse allegations. I mean, this is a very touchy subject, obviously. I mean, the umpire abuse was caught in 4K, and they didn't even bother to penalize him strongly enough to keep up appearances. Pathetic. And I think that this is just echoing probably the thoughts of quite a few people. I know after that incident that happened the last time, there was a few people a bit worried that now he's sort of shown his true colors on the court, and where's this going to leave him now in that other investigation, because it didn't make himself look very good, did he?
As Emma said here, he was caught in 4K. The cameras were there. We all saw it. Everyone watching the match, it was there to be seen live on TV. But yeah, he didn't seem to bother him. He still felt enough sort of confidence and protection that he's able to act in that way. What does he do behind closed doors? It makes you wonder. It could be a lot worse. And I agree with what she's saying here. It clearly is a massive concern, because if they're not going to penalise him for what we do see, they're not going to really penalise him for much that we don't see.
Exactly, mate. Right, moving on to the next one. Anyway, we've got Simon Briggs, former ATP vice president for rules and competition, calls Zverev suspended sentence pathetic. It hardly seems that there is anyone in tennis who disagrees, and that's big words, yeah, coming from an ATP vice president as well. So, well, former.
Yep.
Next one. Oh,
just
Villander.
Sorry, quickly on that last one.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I stand with this statement perfectly. I think it is. That's how you describe it. A lot of people of these tweets have said pathetic, and that's how I sort of see the punishment. It is very pathetic.
I agree. Right, Luigi saying, right, this is Villando's back again. Mats Zverev should be banned from big events. You can't allow him to play the week after or 2 weeks after. That's too soon. Totally agree. I think it should be next time we should see him should probably be in, I'd say, June. Yep. I'd say that would be my personal opinion. Like, give him a breather. Come back on the grass. Right. So we've got, and this one was just a final one. Just wow. I'm stunned. This is an embarrassingly and pathetically lenient punishment that in no way fits the offense. And that was just somebody else, echoing other thoughts that were out there. I was spotting them left, right, and center. This one was one of the first ones I saw, and I just pinged it over to you because I think there's a few just echoes. It's like an echo chamber on Twitter at the moment for
everyone's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we've said this same message as well.
Yeah.
We've been speaking about this quite a bit, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. Let us know in the live chat, what do you think about this whole situation? I'm sure everyone kind of agrees with what we're saying. I've not seen many people with another opinion. But I'm interested to hear what you've got to say. So leave a comment on this video. Make sure to like the video as well. Subscribe if you're new. And we're going to be coming very soon because there is a lot of news going on right now. And that's why I'm sort of hastily moving this along.
No worries.
BNP Paribas Open tweeting Novak Djokovic is on the tournament entry list and therefore placed into the draw today. We are currently in communication with his team. However, it's not been determined if he will participate in the event by getting CDC approval to enter the country. So everything's up in the air. There's another drama happening on Twitter right now.
Oh, no.
We've got Jose Morgado saying, here we go again.
Yeah.
There has been the draw announced. So we're going to do a quick instant draw reaction in about 5 minutes time. So make sure to join us for that. We'll be setting that up very soon. So don't go anywhere, guys. Join us in about 5 minutes for another podcast, doing the live draw reaction for the men's and talking about Novak Djokovic as well. As Eddie's saying, looks like Djokovic is going to mess up another draw. Is it really his fault though? I don't really want to blame him too much, if I'm honest.
He set his stance.
He's chanced his arm and he's entered. I think it's down for the tournament to say, you know what, why are you enter? You're not allowed into the country. So you can't enter. But it's definitely a mess up. Let's find out what everyone thinks. We'll see you very soon.
See you soon, guys.
Cheers.